Hearing aids help. A child with hearing loss who gets hearing aids on early in life does much better in terms of speech and language development. The earlier, the better. But of course, for the hearing aids to help, they must be both working well and worn all day long. Keep hearing aids where they need to be, on your child's ears. So, how to get the hearing aids on in the first place? The challenge we face in this task are busy little hands. Our friend is distraction. Have an interesting toy handy to keep your child's attention while you put in each hearing aid. One toy that's interesting, or more than one. You'll notice in this photo the mother's hands are blurred. That's because you have to move fast. It might be a good idea to keep these interesting toys put aside and used only for putting hearing aids in. Of course, those busy little hands sometimes win, no matter what we do. And since it's a short and common trip between hand and mouth, it's important to use a locking battery door on the hearing aids for children at this age. Make sure your audiologist explains to you how to use this feature. Hearing aid batteries are very dangerous if they ever make it into your baby's mouth. Make sure the battery door is always locked. When it comes down to it, parents are usually worried about losing the hearing aids or getting the hearing aids dirty or wet. One useful item is the baby pilot cap. Sound travels through the cap to the hearing aids just fine for thin cotton versions and ones that have mesh panels on the sides. This will keep the hearing aids from being pulled off by those busy little hands we just mentioned. There won't be a one-size-fits-all solution. There will be different solutions for different babies. Other parents have discovered lots of tricks and tips to keeping hearing aids on, each a little different based on the challenge you face. If the hearing aids fall off from behind your child's ear very easily, for example, some parents place a small piece of two-sided tape on the body of the hearing aid, which can then stick better behind the baby's ear. Your audiologist and speech-language pathologist will help you to work through what works best. How often would you need to hear a new language to learn it? Well, just like a baby, every time you engage with someone in that language, it's another step. The more you participate in language, the farther you will go. So, how many words does your baby need to hear? If you recorded every word you spoke to your baby for a week and then put those words into a book, how big would the book be? If you were speaking like the average parent, it would look like this book. 86,000 words spoken in 1 week. Parents who talk less with their child might say only half of those words, 42,000 words. This represents families who come in 90th out of 100 in the amount of words they say. What about parents who talk more than average to their child? Well, this book represents parents who come in 10th. They speak almost 150,000 words a week to their child. That's 3.5 times the amount spoken compared to the parents in the low average range. Language experts agree. The more language a child engages with, the farther that child will go in terms of speech and spoken language. And hearing aids are the only way that those words will be heard clearly. Just before your child falls to sleep and just after your child wakes is a very important time for language. It's a time for singing and reassuring through words, connecting through sound. Your child associates your voice with comfort, comfort through holding and comfort through voice, heard best through hearing aids. Your child learns to love his hearing aids because they help him to make a connection through language to you. Let's think about this important time just before and just after your baby falls to sleep. Your baby is tired. Up to the time he falls asleep, you spend some nice time talking gently and singing. Then when he sleeps, you gently take out his hearing aids. When he wakes, we put the hearing aids back in before taking him away from his crib. You ask him how his nap was. You talk to him as you get ready for the rest of the day. In that way, you make the most of this important language time. But if we take out his hearing aids well before sleep and wait to put them in until later, well after he is up and going, then we lose. We lose a lot of important language connection. How much? Each week at this age, a baby has 7 nighttime sleeps and 14 naps. If a parent takes the hearing aids out just a half hour before sleep, that's 4 pages lost. If the parent waits to put the hearing aids back in just a half hour after each sleep, that's another 4 pages. What does that add up to over the whole week? It means losing 168 pages of words. That's a lot of language lost. Because a baby is only awake for less than half the day at this age, the cost of a half hour before and after each sleep is great. They will lose 1 day in every 4 in terms of hearing your language clearly. Imagine the cost over months or years. Let's be ready to go each morning. Give the hearing aids their own special place in your home, a place in your house where you always know where they are while your baby is sleeping, and where they are at hand when your baby wakes. Put the hearing aids close to the crib in a dry aid kit. Have some microbial wipes there too, so you can give them a quick clean before putting them in the kit to dry out overnight. Keep extra batteries handy in case they need to be changed at home or on the go. How about in a child-proof container in your diaper bag? Help your baby make the most of a big day of listening. Of course, there are times when you might have to pick up your baby quickly to comfort him without hearing aids in. Put the hearing aids in before you walk away from the crib, though. Just like you wouldn't move the car until he's fastened in, don't move away from the crib until your baby is fastened into his hearing aids. Whenever his eyes are open, his ears should be on. So, back to the books. A study showed that when a child has hearing loss, there are 2 things you need for that child to have average or above average language ability by kindergarten. The first factor, parents need to be consistent, strong language models. Talking at a low average range, or even an average range, did not get these results. The second important factor, hearing aids working and worn all day long. Engage your baby in meaningful language and help them to benefit from hearing by working to keep hearing aids on. Eyes open, ears on.